In this day and age, police shootings of unarmed people of color are so common that most of us are not at all surprised when we are informed of another one occurring. The sad truth is, today in American society, we are so desensitized to the killings of fellow citizens by our police that sometimes these events do not get much attention. According to the ACLU, at minimum, we know that police kill more than 1,000 people annually. To put that into some perspective, police in America are killing people 3 times as often as the country with the next highest rate of killing. One study has found that young unarmed male victims of deadly force by police officers are 13 times more likely to be black than white, according to the ACLU. That alarming statistic has given me reason to inform you about yet another killing of an unarmed black man, Patrick Lyoya. Now, I will be informing you about the very avoidable death of Patrick Lyoya, who was a father, brother, son, and refugee who came to the United States seeking safety and a better life. I will be covering Patrick's history, the event of the shooting, and the aftermath. So, who was Patrick Lyoya? Patrick Lyoya was 26 years old, born in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and along with his parents and 5 siblings, they had escaped a war-torn country. The neighboring country of Rwanda suffered through a genocide and what is known now as the Great War of Africa that cost the continent close to 4 million lives, according to NPR. The family then lived in a refugee camp for 11 years until gaining asylum and finding what felt like a haven in Grand Rapids, Michigan. After arriving in 2014, Patrick and his family found community in a church congregation and worked odd jobs to support each other. Lyoya had been described by those who knew him as a quiet and kind man who loved his children above all else. He was a hard worker who was intensely focused, according to his coworkers. He loved soccer, music, and often chatted positively with his fellow Congolese refugees about their lives in Africa. His mother, Dorcas Lyoya, has told the press that he excelled at putting others in a good mood and making them laugh. Now that I have given you some information on who Patrick Lyoya was, this is what happened that day. The incident began on April 4th around 8 a.m. and is briefly recorded on an officer's body camera until it was turned off. An officer with the Grand Rapids Police pulled over Patrick, stating that the reason was for an improper registration. The officer's name, which has now been released, is Christopher Scher. Lyoya proceeds to get out of his car to talk to the officer, who then tells him to get back into the car. Lyoya then asks the reason for him being stopped, and there is a back and forth of Patrick confirming that he does have a license and that he speaks English, although the fact that it is his second language is not communicated. Mr. Lyoya appears to walk toward the front of the car when the officer is heard repeating "no" until grabbing his shoulder, according to CNN. This is when the physical altercation began. Lyoya is startled by the officer's touch and then proceeds to back away. The officer then tackles him to the ground while repeating "stop resisting," according to CNN. In the video, we see Patrick standing up and Officer Scher firing his taser twice until he is then heard saying, "let go of the taser." After this point is when the officer's body camera was deactivated. After the body cam shuts off, from there on, the video recordings of the incident are from the phone of the passenger in the car and a nearby security camera. The two continue to wrestle on a front lawn, and after about 90 seconds, the officer is heard yelling, "drop the taser." And 3 seconds later, he is heard shooting Patrick in the back of the head.
killing him instantly. Continuing on to the aftermath of the shooting, while debriefing the press, the chief of the Grand Rapids Police was asked by CNN what police officers are trained to do in these situations. The chief said, "The answer is that you're trying to place him in custody." A lawyer representing the Lyoya family asserts that during this entire altercation, Lyoya had never used violence, despite the officer doing so against him for what should have been a misdemeanor traffic stop. The video of Lyoya's murder has called to action waves of protest in Grand Rapids over the death of another unarmed black man at the hands of police. Yet law enforcement has asked the public to be patient while waiting for the results of both an internal and independent investigation. Until these have concluded, no charges will be filed, and Officer Schur is on paid leave awaiting the results. Patrick Lyoya belonged to an extensive African diaspora in Michigan who came seeking a better life. He was a contributing member of our society. He was a father and a legal immigrant who was killed during a traffic stop by the police force who are sworn to protect people like himself. According to another study published by the ACLU, fatal shootings by police are so routine, even during a national pandemic. Police have continued to fatally shoot people at the same rate so far in 2020 as they did in the same period from 2015 to 2019. In several states, police are actually killing people at higher rates than previous years. This information is crucial to the lives of many and to the hope of change. So I feel it is my duty to spread it. Thank you very much.